Welcome. Appreciate y'all coming out, as always. Thank you so much for what you do and covering the Razorbacks, covering our great state. I know there's a lot of excitement all across our state. And, man, you can feel it in the air. As I shared yesterday, I'm excited about this season. I'm excited about these young men. Day one for the second time. The energy level was extremely high again today, which I loved. These guys were ready to practice this morning. It was a quick turn, so I was, it was going to be, kind of a test for them after coming off of a long practice yesterday and a quick turn this morning. They had meetings early this morning, started at 8 o'clock, but those guys showed up with a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. I thought we had a really good day. I thought we finished better today than we did yesterday. Not that yesterday was bad, but I challenged them to finish in what we call a tracking time with shorts and helmets on. You obviously can't tackle. You want to focus on finishing. I usually hold the whistle, so a play gets out on the edge or across the middle or a run happens. I'm not apt to blow the whistle quick. I want to see guys track into the ball and see if they're taking great angles, see if our running backs are finishing, our wide receivers catching with a burst. Those are all big things that we look for in a tracking time. One thing that we always talk about is learning how to practice. Know the tempo of the day. There's a tracking, there's a thud, there's a live. And if we can all learn how to practice, that's when you really see your team grow and develop, because you're able to keep guys healthy and practice the right way. I continue to say again, our guys are in shape. I've been very impressed now with day one, the second time here, of seeing guys in shape, moving around. They look better. They're all moving much better than they've done in the past. And that, again, that's credit to Coach True, Coach Carroll, and his strength staff, or our strength staff. The time, the effort, the energy that they put in this summer, and in the retention level. Now, I want to talk about our players and the retention level. Today was our second day of install, and so we've thrown a lot at them over the last 2 days. And for these guys to the retention level to pick up for day two of the install packets, just shows that the work that they've done this summer. So credit to those guys. I was very pleased with that. Obviously, a long way to go. A long way to go, but I feel like we're building something special. I think that we take the mindset that every day is day one, and look to get 1% better every day, and that's all we want to do. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
So raise your hand, we'll get a mic to you.
Hey Chad, I saw where we're during Gerald practice. How good was it that he only had to miss one? How did he look? What are you expecting from him?
Yeah, I was glad to get Dorian out there. It was good to see him and getting in the flow of things. He only missed a day, like you said, but today, get him out there, get him in tune with the guys, and he had a lot on him today. But I thought he moved around well. We'll see as the week progresses next week, but it was good to have Dorian out there and his size and his physical stature. Question?
Don't be shy now.
I want to ask you what next week looks like when you put on full pads and just kind of the progression of next week.
Yeah. Well, we got a 5-day acclimatization period. We'll go into Monday into more of a shoulder pads and start getting into some of the thud technique. And then I believe Wednesday is our first day of full pads. We'll get some live work in Wednesday and Thursday. Be a lot of really good on good. Doing some live work, tackling to the ground. That'll be some Wednesday and Thursday as well. Friday we'll step back just a little bit, get them ready for Saturday scrimmage. That'll be their first big test, big scrimmage, and so we'll see. But that's what next week looks like.
You wanted to get in the stadium for Saturday. Things look on course for being in the stadium.
I believe so. I don't know that for sure. I'm hoping to get in there this Saturday. The more of our true Saturday scrimmages we can get into our stadium, the better. We'll find probably more out on that on Monday. But if not, we'll be out here next Saturday, and then hopefully for sure the following week on, I believe it's the 18th, it will be, I think it's the 18th, we'll be out there for our final scrimmage. Any questions?
What have you seen so far from that nickel Sam backer deal with Hayden Henry and McClure and Munson?
Yeah, I think obviously with K. Rich being out right now, we've seen Hayden get in there. Hayden's done a good job with it. He's also trying to get some Will Backer. I know Chief is working hard on that and cross-training guys. Davion McClure, or Devon McClure, I should say, is moving around, running well, tracking to the ball. And another one that I want to mention too is Derek Munson. Derek's doing some good things. He was unfortunately last spring he was unable to play in the spring game because he had an ankle injury the week of, and had a good spring up to that point. So he's picked up where he's left off. He's running well. So those are three guys there that were rolling in at that nickel position. The guy that's really impressive right now is Joe Fouché. This is a young man, a freshman. He looks apart. The moment's not too big for him right now. Obviously, wearing just helmets and shorts, but being out here, he's not physically intimidated. He's gained. I think he got here weighing about 184 pounds, and he stepped out there. I think right at the 200-202 mark, and runs well and physical. Been really impressed with him. If he'll continue to come on, it'll allow us to make some moves into that nickel position. So been very pleased with Joe.
Hey, Coach, what's your ideal situation on finding a starting quarterback, what the time period is, and also how your two freshmen, how they look so far?
For 2 days, let's talk about the two freshmen. For 2 days, I thought that their retention level has been remarkable. You could tell that they dove into the install book after they signed, and was able to log on and watch film and watch most of spring sitting at home. That was impressive. And then when they got here, just their attention to understanding the concepts, and then going through summer. So I've been very pleased with both of those guys and how they've progressed through learning this offense. 2 days in, we got a lot of stuff in. I mean, you almost could run an entire season over what we got in right now. Long way, well, still a long way from being great, but they're understanding. They got some protection things that they got to get cleaned up. When to check this protection to that protection, but they're learning. I thought yesterday that they stepped out there, and the moment wasn't too big for either one of them. I thought they threw the ball well. I thought today John Stevens had probably, of the 2 days, today was his best day. Anticipates, sees it very well, and is on time with a lot of his throws today. And so pleased with those two guys. Connor did some really good things as well. I know he hit a deep ball today, which was impressive. And then, back to what we said with, the starting quarterback. What's the timeline on starting quarterback? And there's really not one. And I know everybody wants to say, when are we going to make it? When are we going to make this call? I don't know. I know we're going to get through the scrimmages, and we're going to see who moves the team down the field and gets them in the end zone. And I would, obviously you can't do it at this time, but these guys have got to feel. They got to feel the pressure. And I want to be, as I've shared with them, and Coach Craddock talks to it all the time, we want the same guy every day. I don't want a guy that's up here one day and down here the next. I want the same guy, up 10 or down 10. I want to see the same guy that's going to keep everything under control and will his team to winning. And so that's our challenge to these guys. The young man that really kind of shot out of the blocks yesterday really well, is Dalton Hyatt. He did some really good things. No one's talking about this guy. And so, as I shared with him, I said, nobody's talking about you, man. What are you going to do? Are you just going to sit back and you're going to give it up here, or what? And are you going to go compete? And so he's done a really good job the last couple of days. I thought Cole has done some really good things, threw the ball well today. Would like to see a little bit more urgency on some of his timing throws. I think that'll come. Ty's very knowledgeable of the offense, which is a strength of his. Sees it well and is getting the ball out. Obviously, we got to get some protections. We got to get checked right, but So these guys are all competing, and you know, they're battling and they're pushing each other in that quarterback room, and they're supporting each other out there too, which is impressive to see. So as far as timeline, I don't know. I know we're going to definitely get through the first scrimmage, hopefully get into that second scrimmage and see how it works, and you know, we'll go from there.
Yeah, Chad, did you pick team captains yet? If so, who are they? And do you like to have like permanent captains for the season or captains game by game? What's your philosophy on that?
Yeah, we've got a leadership committee, and you know, Santos Ramirez, Dre Greenlaw, Sosa, you know, Yelda. Those are guys that are part of our leadership committee that are considered our leaders right now. I usually don't like to select a true team captains until we get into the month of November. I want to see how they respond in September, August, September, and October. So what you'll see is I'll rotate captains out each week. There'll be 4 different captains each week. Try to start with my seniors. But I've got a leadership committee. And then what I do for our team captains, which we'll have somewhere in this building, I think it's a big deal to be the captain of your team. We'll have some place on this wall or in these walls for our elected captains, and they'll be selected by their peers. So we'll come in and we'll have a vote by our team, and it's a team-only vote, and they'll pick the captains of the football team, the one that they feel like has led us, and they'll lead us through the month of November, because we want to have a November to remember and into the bowl game. And so those guys will take over from there.
How many guys are on the leadership council?
I believe right now we've got 4. I think that's right. 4, maybe possibly 5. We would like to as I shared with them, I met with them this morning, we would like to grab a leader out of a sophomore class and a leader out of a freshman class and get them to join us. It'll be a big deal, make a team function out of it, but it'll only be selected by that group. So we're not ready to select anybody yet. At some point in camp, hopefully we'll bring a sophomore and a freshman into it, and possibly even a junior. So we'll grow it.
Chad, you got so many receivers and basically so little time to get ready for game one. How do you sort out the guys there, and who's really risen up, would you say?
Well, we got a lot of receivers. We need a lot of playmakers, and so that's how this whole thing's going to rise. Is seeing guys that are going to make plays out there on that field. We've seen some good ones out there the last couple of days, and obviously through spring. But you know, as fast as we go, the pace of practice, as you know, you've seen our pace of practice. You've got to have receivers. You got to have depth there. And it's a constant push. These guys also are going to be able to contribute on special teams. And so, you know, again, guys making some plays. As I shared earlier, you know, Jordan Jones is a young man that really needs to come on. Needs to have a great fall camp. Tobias Enlow, we've talked about him. We get into Jonathan Nance. I think Jonathan's had 2 really solid days. I've been very pleased with Jonathan for 2 days. Deion Stewart is another one, and then Jared Cornelius. I think Jared has it definitely feels like that he's back and feels good. Really running really good routes out there. Made a couple of really good plays. So again, we'll keep pushing them. You'll get into next week, and you know, some of the young guys that are out there, they got to figure out what the difference is between hurt and being injured. You know, your leg's a little sore, you can still practice. You know, so we got to keep pushing those guys. We run a lot, and as I shared with them, we don't condition after practice. You know, back in the day, you used to condition. I tell them all the time. I said, you either push or I will, one of the two. So these guys are doing a good job. I'm pleased. Coach Stepp's doing a really good job.
How's Dalton Wagner responded, and also just finding the working at center again today, just kind of who else you're working over there?
Yeah, Shane works in center today, and then he also works in left tackle. Dalton Wagner, again, is totally transformed his body. Looks well, it looks really good. I mean, he looks apart. A young kid that's Coach Fry is really excited about the potential of this young man. So he and Shane are working over there. And another young man that's doing some good things too is Noah Gatlin. This is a freshman that is excited to be out there. He's really working hard. Got some reps in there today with both our ones and our twos. And it's Silas Robinson. You'll see Silas is working a little bit of center today as well. So these are 2 young guys that we're excited about to provide some depth for us.
Hey, Coach, it's pretty amazing the physical transformation of the offensive line for those of us who haven't been around as much up here lately to see that. Is that a Chad Morris offensive line? Is it still a work in progress physically? Is it something that's where you want them to be, or is it still more to come?
Well, you know, we got to have guys in that offensive line that can move. I mean, with what we do, it's all about moving. We do a lot of gap scheme, pulling, wrapping, you know, outside zone, inside zone. Guys constantly have to be moving. And to watch these guys, when you see Brian Wallace and you see a before picture and an after picture of this guy, and you don't even have to see the picture, just watch the way they walk around. Just watch the confidence level that these guys are walking with, because they feel better about themselves. And that's what we're trying to get to. And you know, we got to be physical. We all understand that. This is a tough sport played by tough people. And so we have to present that. We've got to practice that way. We've got to demand toughness. But you also got to have confidence when you step on that field. And so I'm pleased with the direction we're going. Coach Fry and his ability to work and move guys around and cross-train is going to be the challenge, and to create the depth. And so, but he's done a great job with it. We've done that before, and I think it's all about finding those best five and then find out where they fit, and then find the next group after that. But definitely on track, and that's a credit to Coach Carroll and that entire strength staff, because they knew coming into the summer months that this was going to be our transformation phase, and they had a lot of work to do.
Carl?
Yes, sir.
Coach, if you can you talk a little bit about Christopher Lopez, kicker from Rogers?
Yeah, he's not in the 110 at this moment. He'll join after school starts. But I will talk about our kickers. Obviously, Connor Limpert and Preston Stafford. We've gotten into doing some several periods of our special league period. Especially we do a specialist period at the end of practice, and whether that's, you know, pooch kicks, onside kicks, punting, and I think those guys have done a good job. Blake Johnson again for 2 days in, and Reed Bauer. And Reed Bauer is gonna push. He's gonna make a push. He's not gonna just surrender the job to Blake. So I think we got a good competition going on right there. I can't wait to see them in some live work, to see how on both sides that they respond in both kicking and in punting.
Coach, where are you at in terms of the 85 scholarship limit, and how many do you think you're going to be able to get into the 2019 recruiting class?
With our 85 right now, I am sitting somewhere around the 82, 83 mark, maybe somewhere in there. We'll get to 85, but for sure we will. But that's where we're sitting right now. You know, looking at that 2019 class and how many we feel like we're going to sign, you know, I think you're going to see us probably be able to wind up signing, you know, I would say somewhere around the 19 to 22 mark is kind of what I'm thinking and looking. You know, we've got some guys that, as you always look, you always take your number and you always usually add a few to it. It's kind of a what I've always dealt with, and places I've been in the past. You know, you take the number you got and you anticipate there's going to be some attrition along the way. Guys leaving early or what, usually add 6 to it. It's kind of what I've always had and worked with. And sometimes 6 is on the low end. That's just kind of what we've done. But I think we got 15 seniors, and adding 6 of that gets you to 21. So again, you know, I'm anticipating that you know, we have some guys that have a great year. They have an opportunity to come out. Man, you know, if it benefits them, and then we're definitely going to give them the support and direction they need. We got that means a lot of good things are happening. That's what that means. And so, but we got some guys working extremely hard for that. But I'd say somewhere probably no higher than 22.
I'm just curious, we were talking about the freshman quarterbacks earlier. The policy of not letting newcomers talk to the media. Do you do that at SMU, or sort of the process behind?
Yeah, you know, we usually wait till after they're first. They participate in the game, and then they're open.
Is there sort of a reason for that, or just?
Well, just, you know, yeah, really there is, and you know, it's the fact that just kind of something I want to hold on to with those freshmen and get them ready to go, and you know, I want to make sure that they're able to contribute out there on that football field before we step them in front of, you know, and represent this team and understand what our standard is and how we operate, and nothing's going to be given to you, and you know, they've all been the greatest in their high school, and we want to see how they get out on that football field. They've earned the right to stand up and celebrate their team and their teammates. That's kind of what we've done.
Hey, Coach, two things real quick. Where do you feel like the offense is in terms of installation, the learning curve? And then the second thing is, for the group that lost so many games last season, how do you kind of handle the mental part of that, the psychological, any scars they might have?
Well, let me start with the offense. We've had a lot of installs the last 2 days. A lot of that install was the retention from the spring. And so we added to what we had, so we went back, we went back to what we installed day one of spring. And they've had all that in all summer long. And then we added to it. We added some stuff that we didn't get to in the spring for day one. So we put a lot on them. And then today was the same way. Today was a day 2 of like spring plus some more. So they've got a lot. As I shared with you, we could literally stop right now and get through the season with what we got. It's not what I want to do. Right now, it's all about inundating them with the offense, and then at some point we'll figure out what sticks, what we can do, what we can't do, and start pulling back. But right now is not the time to pull back. As far as what we did this
The psychological, the mental part.
Yeah. You know, really, you know, I always talk about is the windshield and the rearview mirror theory. You know, what's happened in the past is the past. We don't want to forget it. We're going to look back in that rearview mirror, and there's a reason why that mirror is a little bit smaller than the windshield is because it's not nearly as important to know where you came from as it is where you're going. And so we're not going to focus on the past. I mean, these guys are walking around here with a whole different confidence level. The transformation of the body, to the way they feel about themselves, their team. Nobody's picking them to do anything. And I told them this last night. I love that. I love it. Lie in the weeds, lay camouflage, and strike when you're ready. And so, but we're going to be ready. And you know, you just tell us when we need to play and where we need to play, and we're going to be there. And that needs to be the mindset. So to walk around and, you know, hey, I've been a part of this and didn't win much. I mean, hey, look, that's behind us. It's what are we going to do now? How are we going to be the best team we can be today? And are we a better Arkansas Razorback football team right now than we were yesterday? And the answer to that is yes. And yesterday we were better than any point in time in the spring. And so if we can continue to get 1% better, then all that stuff will take care of itself. It really will. And, you know, the real challenge is going to be when adversity hits you. Now how are you going to respond? And so now it's our job as coaches is to put them in adverse situations through camp. And we are, and we all know that you know, being day one for the second time, next Wednesday and Thursday's coming. And how are they going to respond with a little bit of adversity? That's why it needs to be hot as it can possibly be out here. We need. I mean, I wish we'd have a heat wave rolling here because we need that. So.
In Atlanta, you said that you knew you were going to have to tweak some things. Has that started yet? Can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, I don't think we've had to quite tweak anything just yet because we're going through so much install. But there'll be a point in time that we'll say, and I'll kind of reference it like this. Maybe you got let's start with our quarterback. Maybe you got a quarterback, you run the zone read. Zone read's part of our system. Well, maybe you got a quarterback that's starting for you that's he's not the best runner. Well, then we don't need to ask him to be the major force. His read after the pull is a run. We need to make his next force needs to be a throw. So that's tweaking the zone read. Now maybe we got a guy that starts for us that's really good at running the football, and then we want him, as he makes that pull, to have more of an option to run it before he throws it. So that's just tweaking the offense. And so, you know, working your RPOs for guys that maybe don't run as well as others. It's just adjusting. That's tweaking it, calling it answers, but that's what it's about.
Tweaking to fit the personnel.
Absolutely, 100%.
Now that you got Boyd in, how do you feel about your running backs, the depth of talent, that group as a whole?
Yeah, we got some depth there. And we got a lot of competition at a running back position. Again, these guys are Coach Traylor gets them in there and they get the reps. They're full speed. They're competing their tail off. When you sit here and you look at Devois and the way he looks right now, I thought he was extremely. I say extremely. I thought he was overweight in spring and just didn't see it, and he knew it. He felt it. He worked really hard this summer to get his body in shape and cut his body fat down, and a total different. I mean, when you see him walk out on that field, he's grinning the moment he grabs his helmet out of his locker. So he's excited, got a lot of confidence. Chase could go all day long. We could practice 24 straight hours, and that guy, you'd never know the difference. I mean, he's a machine. And T.J. Hammond's another one that's very versatile for us and is grasping the offense and understands it, what his strengths are and how he's competing. Malik Williams, that's another one that no one's talking about. This is a guy that, if you looked at any of them and say who's improved the most, Malik Williams, without a doubt. I mean, this guy weighs 225 pounds, and I think his body fat composition is like 6%. And he knows one speed, and it's wide open. And so I'm excited about him. Obviously, then adding Rakeem in the mix, I really, really feel like we got some depth at running back, and we all know in this league that you better have some depth at that position as well. So,
got time for two more, Jason.
Coach, kind of feeding off Kurt's question a little bit, how much does your personality kind of help them turn the page, and how much have they really bought into what you're trying to preach about turning the page and moving on to something bigger and better?
Well, whether it's my personality or not, this is who I am, and I know this that I can either come in as a head coach and as a leader of a program. I can come in and breathe life into you guys, or I can come in and pull the life out of you. And so it's all an attitude, and it's all a choice, and I've got a choice every day. And as I share with our guys all the time, I share with my seniors this morning that every day I walk in that door, you're going to get my absolute best. And I'm no telling what I've got going on the side and working at home or whatever. I mean, this is my absolute best, and these guys are going to get every bit of energy I got. And so, as far as turning the page, is that my personality? No, it's all about just living in the moment, just being where your feet are, and being the best you can be. And that's all I want. When December rolls around, we rally back and did we get the absolute best out of the 2018 Arkansas Razorbacks at every position? That's what I'm going to ask every one of my coaches. So I'm going to ask our strength staff. And if we did, great. We'll be pleased with the results because we got the best out of it.
Scott, I think consistency is a word that always seems to come up when you talk about LaMichael Petway. Have you seen that from him through the first couple of days and he's taking a step forward?
Yeah, I have. I mean, I think that not just him, but a lot of the guys have been very consistent. Consistent in their work ethic, consistent in their catch and tuck and get vertical and their burst. So yeah, I think we're on track. We're definitely stepping in the right direction.
Last one, Clay.
Coach, a lot of talk about offense and plays and this. What's the retention of the defense, and what would you tell somebody that says that y'all probably are not going to blitz much this year?
Well, I think anybody that knows John Chavis understands that they would probably chuckle with that because he wakes up and gets out of bed pressuring. I mean, he's bringing he's blitzing every chance he walks in this door up here. He's bringing some type of pressure. That's what he is. That's what's made him successful. And that's why I wanted him here because I know I've had to game plan against him. Defensively, the retention level very similar to the offense. I mean, you've now gone two days of install. These guys have taken ownership in it. The Dre Greenlaws and Scooters, and these guys have taken unbelievable ownership. I've been pleased with Randy Ramsey. I mean, these guys have retained. They've retained a lot. And again, it'll see how next Wednesday and Thursday when there's been so much on them and we're now full pads and live. Let's see how it responds in. But for 2 days, it's been impressive to watch them.